Bible of Marvolo, translated from the Marvoloville Vulgate, diligently compared with the Hesbianese, Greece and other editions in diverse languages. Doya Mum version 1609-1582. Book of Marvoloville. Chapter 1. In the beginning there was nothing but a cold and distant deity. From the rib of the deity came Marvolo, emerging with a warm light. That light split and became the sun. Marvolo felt tired. He created a hentai pillow to rest his head. After his nap he felt lonely, his tears spilling onto the earth, becoming the ocean and fertilizing the land. The cold god began to envy the new creator with his lush forest, first signs of life and newly found knowledge. Finally he decided to place parts of himself upon his creation. Marvolo places each part of his spirit, creating the mammals, fish, bugs, birds, and finally humans. He spoke, "My kin, I bless upon you thou ability of freedom, of knowledge, and of love, pure and true." The cold god came forth in a brief moment of absence, claiming to be the creator, explaining how they were made, calling the god a serpent, and placing a tree of unholy knowledge. Post-absence, the creator returned into his form, that of freedom and purity. A snake based off his favourite house, Slytherin. The cold god convinced the first humans that he was the creator, being in his form of a snake. The humans, never witnessing mistrust or a lie, ate of the tree containing unholy knowledge. The cold god then banished all three, cursing them, humans shut out, the creator unable to regain his notoriety. Being shunned as the serpent, but still worked from the shadows, guiding his creations. Marvolo was granted abasement from God, given with a shine of light, to divide the children from the teenage girls in the light of day, and let them be for conventional use, for during the seasons and for days and years, to shine in the firmament of heaven, and to give pleasure upon the earth. And it was done. And God made two great lights, greater light to rule the day, and a lesser light to rule the night. And Marvolo's CCTV bathroom cameras. And he set them in the firmament of heaven to shine against the privacy laws of earth, and to rule the day and the night, and to divide the light and the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and morning were the fourth day. God also said, "Let the waters bring forth the creeping creature having life, and his foul smell that may fly over the earth under the firmament of heaven." And so God created Marvoloville, and every stink and reek which the heavens brought forth according to their kinds were kindly gifted to Marvoloville. And so God guided Marvolo to dwell in Marvoloville as a prophet. Marvolo was then declared Sire Marvolo of the village of Marvoloville. God saw that it was good. Chapter 2. Marvolo is now an indubitable primary kelp collector of Marvoloville. He leads a hopeless life. However, all that changes when the sire books a summer holiday to the quite brilliant Coxbury. At first, Sire Marvolo finds Coxbury very exquisite. Then there's the mysterious Sir Aidan Nigel of Yorkshire, second Lord of New Hampshire, and senior overseer of the Thames Shipping Yard, apprentice and appreciative of Canterbury Lordship, who makes him feel rather unpleasant. When a young girl invites him on a snog expedition, Sire Marvolo begins to realise that the young girl is a deeply skint and damp woman. Sire Marvolo knows in his heart that the young girl is the woman for him. However, to secure his happiness, Marvolo must fend off the chirpy previous preparer and national team leader of the Buckingham Palace, Sire Nigel Aidan, who wants nothing less but to protect the young girl from the skinny fingers of Sire Marvolo. Using his mutual love of disregarding London's legal system, Marvolo sets out to snare the young girl once and for all. But will the Sire of Marvoloville return his affections? Sire Nigel Aidan later advised the young female to disregard Sire Marvolo's unfound sexual institution. Chapter 3. Sire Marvolo was in his hotel room later that night, looking at the dining room chair in his hands, and felt disappointed. He walked over to the window and reflected on his surroundings. He had always loved the bustling city of Coxbury, with its sad, gloomy seas. It was a place that encouraged his tendency to feel disappointed. Then he saw something in the distance, or rather, someone. It was the figure of Sire Nigel Aidan. Sire Nigel was a versatile brute with kelp-like hair and masculine underarms. Sire gulped. He glanced at his own reflection. He was a soft, gentle Earl Grey drinker with slim fingers. His allies viewed him as a narrow, naughty elf. But not a soft person was prepared for what Sire Nigel Aidan had in store for Sire Marvolo this night. The rain hammered down on the hotel roof, giving Sire Nigel an edge. As Sire Marvolo stepped outside and Sire Nigel came closer, he could see the freakish smile on his face. "Look, sire!" growled Sire Nigel, with a glare in his eye that reminded Sire Marvolo of his previously versatile diabetic dogs. Sire Nigel spoke. "I know your defence league is insufficient, so I'm going to require the basketball boys. You owe me 23 quid. Sire Marvolo looked back, even more confused, and still grasping his sweaty fingers around the dining room chair. "Sire Marvolo," he continued, "you'll never defend thy basketball boys?" They looked at each other with uneasy feelings, like two sour, straight, suggestive seabirds imposed by funerals with Mexicans mingling in the background, and two unique uncles dropping to the beat. Sire Marvolo studied Sire Nigel's kelp hair and masculine underarms once more. Eventually, he took a deep breath. "I'm afraid, and I declare myself bankrupt," explained Sire Marvolo. "But thou will never get your money via defending thy basketball boys." "Ah!" objected Sire Nigel Aidan. "Now that's where you're wrong." "I disagree," retorted Sire Marvolo. "Now get your kelp-like pubic hair out of here before I hit you with this hereby dining room chair." Sire Nigel Aidan looked at the dining room chair in disbelief. Sir Marvolo could sense Sire Nigel's contained laughter as Sire Marvolo committed to stand up for himself. The versatile Nigel vanished out the doorway and away into the distance. Not even a drink of Earl Grey with Scotch fingers would calm Sire's nerves tonight.